Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big ideas. Today, we're getting into cognitive behavior therapy, or CBT, and how it can literally help people rewire their own brains. We're going to use Judith Beck's classic book on the topic as our guide.
So, let's start with a puzzle. Have you ever wondered why the exact same thing can happen to two different people, but they react in completely opposite ways? Seriously, what's going on there?
All right, let's make this real for you. Imagine you're sitting down with a really tough new book. Maybe even the one we're talking about today. It's complicated, you're not getting it right away. What happens inside your head? Well, as the book shows us, here are two very different paths. Reader D gets that same challenge, and their immediate thought is, okay, I really need to figure this out. They feel anxious, sure, but that pushes them to lean in, to try harder. Then you have Reader E, same book, but their thought is, this is impossible, I'm just dumb. And that thought leads to feeling sad, giving up, and just turning on the TV.
Now, this isn't just some abstract thought experiment, right? This stuff has huge real-world consequences. To see just how powerful this dynamic is, we're going to look at the story of a man named Abe, who's a composite of clients from the book.
When we meet Abe, he is in a really bad place. He's been through some major life stuff, problems at work, a divorce, and his world has just shrunk. He's depressed, totally isolated, and spends most of his time just passively watching TV, feeling completely stuck. So, the therapy that helped Abe get unstuck, cognitive behavior therapy, is built on this one simple but honestly revolutionary idea. And here it is. This is the core engine of CBT. It says, it's not the event itself that causes our feelings. It's the automatic thought that flashes through our mind about the event. The difficult book isn't what made Reader E sad. It was the thought, I'm so dumb, that did it. That little step, that automatic thought, that's the whole game. The book uses this incredible metaphor to describe what depression feels like. It's like you're forced to wear these dark, distorted sunglasses. And absolutely everything you experience, every conversation, every memory, every new thing that happens gets filtered through those dark lenses. So these are those automatic thoughts. They're the super quick, gut-level judgments that just pop into our heads all day long. They're the little narrator in the back of your mind. And the thing is, we almost never stop to challenge them. We just accept them as truth. But what if they're not? To figure that out, Abe had to go deeper. He had to understand what was generating all these negative thoughts in the first place. You know, what's the source code? Well, it turns out our automatic thoughts spring from something even deeper. Our core beliefs. These are the fundamental rules of the game that we've learned about ourselves, about the world. They're often so deep we don't even know they're there, but they act like the operating system for our brain. And through therapy, Abe uncovered his. After all the stress from his job and his divorce, this one core belief got activated, and it was a devastating one. I'm incompetent.
And once that belief is switched on, it's like he's got this filter on reality. It's wild how it works. Any negative information, like an overdue bill, it just flies right through and strengthens the belief. See? Proof I'm incompetent. But positive information, the filter blocks it or distorts it. A boss praises him. Ah, she's just being nice. He helps a neighbor, his brain doesn't even log it. It's a system that's built to prove itself right over and over again.
So how in the world do you break out of a cycle like that? You know, when your own brain is working against you? Well, the answer wasn't just to think positive, it was to do something. This is where a key technique called activity scheduling comes in. And just look at the difference. Before, Abe's day was all about avoidance and passivity. With CBT, he starts planning these tiny, achievable actions. Get up and shower. Make one phone call. Take the grandkids for ice cream. The point wasn't to magically feel happy, it was to break the cycle of doing nothing and start generating new evidence.
And then he took it a step further with something called behavioral experiments. This part is so clever. He started treating his negative thoughts not as facts, but as hypotheses, things to be tested. His brain predicted, if I try to volunteer, I'll be way too tired. So the experiment was simple. Just go for 30 minutes and see. And what happened? The prediction was wrong. He could do it, and it actually felt good. He was collecting real-world data against his own negative beliefs.
So through all of this, the scheduling, the testing, the gathering of new data, something really profound started to happen. Abe wasn't just getting better, he was learning to become his own therapist.
And that, right there, is the ultimate point of cognitive behavior therapy. It's not about being in therapy forever. It's about empowerment. It's designed from the ground up to give you the skills you need to manage your own mind.
So in the end, Abe didn't just feel less depressed. He walked away with a whole new mental toolkit. He now had the skills to spot his automatic thoughts, to question them, to run little experiments, and to act based on his values, not just his mood. And maybe most importantly, he learned that progress isn't perfect. The book actually calls setbacks visiting Texas. It's just a detour on the map, not your final destination.
And this brings us to what might be the single most powerful idea in all of this. Your thoughts aren't facts. They're simply stories your mind tells you. And since you're the one telling the story, you always have the power to question the narrative and start writing a better one.